What's up, everyone? I'm Mike. You may have noticed that I didn't name the platform this video is being shot for because I am done shooting content for any specific platform. I am sick and tired of waiting for approvals on my content. So this video is being recorded on June 22nd at 10 p.m. exactly Central Time. This is the second video of the day that I have produced. My first video has still not been approved for monetization by Rumble or YouTube. And because of this, I will likely be moving I will likely be publishing all future content immediately to OF. I'm still going to mirror the content on the other streaming services, but if you want to get content that is completely unedited, uncensored, and as raw as you have come to enjoy, then you are going to almost certainly have to go somewhere else to get it, because I am sick and tired of putting up with this bullshit. So this video may get approved to come straight out, or it may get stuck in the 12 to 18 hour pit of hell that my other videos have been stuck in. So if you are not a member of my Discord, you definitely should be, because when my content gets moved to the other site, I will not be able to link it here. So what I am planning on doing is starting to produce even more raw content that I'm already producing, somewhere that actually celebrates creators and all of the genuineness and honesty that they try to bring forth into the community. So that little bit of PSA aside, today what I'm actually talking about is my MENT cycle and how that is going. If you've been following this particular channel for any length of time, then you'll know that I have been experimenting with MENT, also known as Trestolone, for almost 2 weeks now. Because I misdosed it originally. I should also, for the sake of the crybaby platforms, make this very clear that this is not medical advice. This video is not intended to glorify or endorse the use of any illegal behavior. Do not break the law in your country. So Trestolone is actually legal, I believe, in the United States, and is currently being researched, or was researched, as a male contraceptive. I have been running at least 10 milligrams for almost 2 weeks now. I am currently taking 15 milligrams a day, and it is just now really starting to take hold of my physique. I am unhappy to report that I seem to be some type of a freak outlier, and the MENT, or something that is going on in my body, is acting as an AI, and my estrogen has been crushed for over a week. I have not had a dose of Arimidex since June 18th. It is now the 22nd. This is the longest I have ever gone since I started using exogenous hormones without Arimidex. My functionality is slowly returning day by day. Things are getting better and better. My functionality with my wife last night was as good as it's been since I started the MENT. All signs and symptoms point to low E2. I have been continuing to dose my cabergoline as I feel is necessary, and my gyno is non-existent and my nipples are very small. Unfortunately, I have very little emotional connection with my wife, and that is definitely putting a strain on our marriage. Aside from that, things could not possibly be better. I am ungodly strong in the gym at this point. I set a PR again yesterday, followed by on chest day. I PR'd on incline press. I had PR'd on the incline press the week prior. Today I went to the gym and did arms, and I could not tap my biceps out. The fourth exercise of the day, on the fourth set of the exercise, I was doing easy bar curls. The heaviest preloaded easy bar they have in the gym is 110 pounds, and I was repping it. I got 8 reps easily probably could have gotten 10 or 12 if I wanted to continue to push it on my fourth set of my fourth exercise of the day. That is extremely, extremely uncommon for me. My strength continues to go up every single workout because of the fact that I am very, my E2 seems to be very low. I am extremely cut and vascular. I have been watching the weight disappear around my midsection over the course of the last week, despite eating as many calories as I can shove into my face. It seems to be impossible for me to get fat or gain any excess soft tissue on this cycle. My pecs continue to grow. My shoulders continue to grow. I am looking absolutely freakish in the gym. What seems to be taking place is the equivalent of the first ever Trestolone cycle I ran, which was just an ungodly amount of recomp. When I jumped from 190 up to 210 with the administration of MK677, it was very clear that my muscles, all of my muscles, were just absorbing water and glycogen. As I showed in one of my other videos, when I flex my pecs now, you can see the shape of my pecs change, and there is nothing to grab on top of the muscle. The skin is very thin and everything is just muscular tissue. When I would flex my pecs in those physique update videos, when I was like 212, 214, prior to starting the MENT, you would notice that the shape of my pecs didn't really change. You didn't really see the detail in my pecs. It seems to be, I don't know, I'm just saying what seems to be occurring is that all of the intracellular water that I was carrying on my frame is becoming contractile tissue. My body seems to be morphing. My shoulder detail is insane in the gym, and my weight has actually started to increase again. So I think it's possible that's due to the fact that my estrogen is also slowly coming up. So we should see some amount of increased intracellular water as my estrogen levels return to normal. Last night, I weighed in at the end of the night at 211, right before bed, full stomach, completely caloried up. And today at about 9:30, I was already at 211 pounds. So it seems likely that I'm going to finish up the night heavier. We'll see if it's a pound or 2 pounds. But visually in the gym, I am looking a lot bigger. This seems to be due to the fact that weight is getting redistributed around my frame. So I've got ungodly strength in the gym. This is the greatest strength that I've had in at least 2 years. The total compound load that we're dealing with here currently is I just increased my test from 300 back to 400, trying to get my E2 to come back. So currently I'm going back up to 400 milligrams of test C. I have raised my nandrolone decanoate from 200 to 300 milligrams. I am currently sitting at 100 milligrams of Tren E. I'm taking 400 milligrams of Mast E, 15 milligrams of MENT acetate per day, and 50 milligrams of Proviron per day. That is the total load of androgens. I have been on MK677 at 25 milligrams a day. I was thinking about cycling off. I started reading data about MK and people saying that you should be able to stay on it for longer periods of time than I've been on it. So today I'm increasing my dose from 25 to 30 milligrams of MK677, and my appetite has already improved today, which could potentially lead to why my weight is slightly up at the midday point. This is effectively midday for me. I woke up at 1 o'clock this afternoon, so I've only been awake for about 9 hours now. So maybe a little bit past midday, but nevertheless, I don't have a lot to report on as far as sexual side effects and libido, because I don't have any, like at all. But the functionality is at least beginning to return to semi-normal. I would say that if I had to guess, my E2 is now possibly in range, just at the absolute bottom of the range. It's probably single digits at this point, maybe 10, maybe. It's definitely not 20, I can guarantee you that. So I don't know what is causing this. My intention is to continuously raise my testosterone and time, because the MENT should be making estradiol, although MENT creates 7-alpha methyl estradiol, and I am beginning to think that it's not bioavailable, or it's not binding to my receptors or something. I honestly I cannot give you any good reason why I'm having these effects. The only thing I can possibly dream of that could account for the disparity in the community is that all of these guys who've been blaming the estrogenic side effects of MENT, well, I mean, even then, like, I have buddies that are running this, and they're running Aromacin, and they're not crashing their estrogen. So I don't know why mine has crashed at all. Again, I've had 1 milligram of Arimidex total in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today's day 8. I've had 1 milligram of Arimidex in the last 8 days, and my estrogen is very slowly climbing back into the normal range. So what I intend to do for the remainder of this, I mean, cycle, what are we even talking about? There was a period of time where I was counting weeks. We must be on week 30 of this blast. I don't even know. It's pointless to even count from here on. So I intend to increase my testosterone level. I'm going to let it start climbing back up to 400. And then until my E2 returns to normal, the test dose is going to keep going up. So I think what I'm going to do is continue to increase my testosterone dose, and or maybe MENT at some point, until I'm requiring about 2 milligrams per week of Adex or some dose of Aromacin, which I may try. The jury in my head is still out on Aromacin. So until I need something comparable to 2 milligrams of Arimidex to offset my estrogen load, I'm going to continue to raise my testosterone. So when I get to a point where I'm stable on about 2 milligrams of Arimidex, I'm going to add into the mix some amount of Primobolan on top of the Masteron. The Primo should have anti-estrogenic effects, and I'm going to increase the Primo until my E2 starts to come down, until I start to not require the Arimidex any longer. So whatever amount of Primo it takes to get me back off of the Arimidex is what I'm slowly going to increase my dose to. Then, when I get stable on the Primo, I'm going to raise my testosterone level again until we either reach 1 gram of test, or we reach an estrogen level that's not controllable with Primo. I'm going to continue jacking these doses up and try to continue getting more gains out of the given amount of nutrition that I'm putting into my body. Now, obviously, this is fully and totally experimental. All of these things could change. If I suddenly start gaining weight on the doses that I'm currently on, then there'll be no need to just arbitrarily increase the androgen load. The goal here is through a combination of androgens and or calorie manipulation to start to get my body growing more actual contractile tissue. I am trying to stay in this unicorn blast state that I'm in, where I'm apparently building muscle and not adding any additional body fat at all. My body is behaving, it's a fucking science fair experiment. I do not know what is going on that is accounting for this look. One of the hypotheses that I gave my wife last night is often when I bulk, I'll get up to some weight, let's call it 210, and I will be in that bulk state where I'm not looking hard and grainy and detailed and really vascular. And so then I'll start cutting down, And as I cut down, guys will go like, damn, man, you're looking really jacked today. You look like you're getting bigger. Often people will look bigger when they get leaner and tighter, even though they're actually losing body weight. They look like they're getting bigger. I have hypothesized that that's what's going on in my body right now. That despite the fact that my weight has only been fluctuating up and down about a pound, if I'm losing the soft bloat in replace for hard chiseled muscle, then I will look bigger at 210 shredded than I looked at 210 wet. That's the only thing I can conceive of. I'm searching high and low to try to figure out why it seems that my body is getting bigger. I should have, and I intended, maybe I'll comment it. I should have gone and measured my shoulder dimension. I'll do that after this video and put it into the comments. At my biggest, measuring my shoulders around my chest was 55 inches. So I'll go ahead and put that out there now, so I can take that measurement and see if this is all just some kind of like, what do they call it? Like a visual, what is that called? Optical illusion. Thank you, Sarah, in the background. I'll measure my shoulder dimensions and see if what we all seem to be agreeing is me looking bigger and more freakish. Is this some kind of optical illusion? Or have my dimensions actually changed? If we actually have an increase in shoulder dimensions, then we will know for certain that there is in fact a recomp going on here, and I'm either turning water into muscle, or I am losing fat around my midsection and converting that into muscle. So I will comment that dimension in the comment section, obviously. So that's pretty much where we're at. Psychologically, this has probably been the best steroid cycle that I've ever taken, minus the fact that it has been, I can't really say it's causing relationship problems, but only because my wife is a soldier. Now, admittedly, we did have a kind of a laugh last night, because like last night, we were sitting on the couch talking about my broke D game, and I said, it seems like it's been forever, doesn't it? And she's like, oh my God, it's like, when is this ever gonna end? And I was like, you know, it's only been broken for 6 days. And she's like, what? And I said, yeah, it's only been broke for 6 days. And she didn't believe me. And so I showed her on the calendar, like, this is where I dosed the Arimidex, this is where I started the MENT, this is where everything went wrong. And so that really drives home a point that I've been trying to make in some of my videos about how sensitive my body seems to be to various hormones. My wife and I have sex every single day. During certain blast periods, it's nothing. We have gone extended periods of time on 2-a-days. And so when you, one, have sex every single day, when two, you have a standard of emotional commitment where we're texting, talking, touching, like we are so habitual in our interactions that when something is amiss, it is very, very obvious to one or the other of us. That's why her periods, I think, have disproportionately large effect on me, because I just absolutely cannot deal with the flux. And so she has become very, very habitually attached to some level of emotional connectivity, of D game functionality, of me always having a consistent libido. And so when all of a sudden, these things that you've been accustomed to for 9 years just disappear, it can make 6 days feel like an eternity. And so I was telling her last night that maybe the reason some people are like, I don't know why this guy feels everything so much. If you're a person that sleeps with your wife 3 or 4 times a month, I mean, it would have been easy for this entire week to just slip by completely unnoticed. But when you're fine-tuning every single little tiny thing about your body, how many times you text, how long your erections last, how long foreplay lasts, How hard are you? Like when you're micromanaging all these little details, how much morning wood did you have? How long did it last? How much cuddling did you do? How much sweating on your wife did you do? How many hot flashes did you have in the middle of the night? All of these things are metrics that I track. And so when you're tracking all of this volume of data, it's very easy to notice the tiniest little thing being out of whack. And so while to us, it feels like my estrogen has been crushed for an eternity, the reality is it's only been 6 fucking days. Gaining on 8 days, I guess. I guess today's day 7. So it was 6 yesterday, so today's day 7. So it was similar to when I got sick, you know, like when you train consistently, when you live this lifestyle of grow, gain, and then you get sick for a week, like the total time of my illness was really not that long in the grand scheme of things. But it felt like I had been terminal for 6 months based on the way it was affecting my wife and I. Like there's so many bizarre things about how connected we grew during that short period of time where we thought maybe I was going to have a liver transplant. Like that probably bonded us together more than maybe anything that we've gone through in the last 9 years of being married. That was a really scary time. And it was really a relatively short time. And so I got back on the MK and shot up from 190 to 210 in a very short period of time. And it seems like over the last 3 to 4 weeks, I have been converting all of that water and glycogen into something that is actually fucking chiseled out of stone. And that is at least how my body is looking to me. So psychologically, aside from the fucking lack of connection, I feel phenomenal. Somebody in the Discord today, in fact, I think I have it up here, fluoxymesterone. Shout out to fluoxymesterone in the Discord. He made a comment about how he actually kind of likes it when his E2 is around 10. He said, does anyone else feel their best when basically E2 is single digits, or for me, around 10? He says, I become way less, I think he meant way more independent. I work, when it's, well, maybe I misread this entire comment. Anyone else feel their best when in the single digits E2 wise? For me, if it isn't below 10, I feel so tired and woe is me. I become way less independent. I worry too much about things and what others think. Below 10, I feel happy as fuck 24/7. Nothing can bother me. And if I get angry, I say angry things, but I don't mentally get angry, if that makes sense. I guess I'd put it as nothing can touch me type of feeling. I also get way drier looking and feel less bogged down, bloated and constipated, feel more mature. And so I was like, holy shit, dude, 100% agreed. Like, I'm used to feeling all of those things he's talking about. Very worried about like what my wife is thinking, what somebody's thinking, very clingy, very dependent upon her, very just kind of like in flux in my mind. I'm usually carrying a lot more body water than I am now. There's definitely kind of a bogged down feeling with a higher estrogen. But at that higher estrogen level, despite all of those other negatives, my libido works really good. My desire for my wife is really strong. My emotional connection to her is very strong. And so I disproportionately value that over some of the things that he's saying. Admittedly, I personally, my wife aside, have been feeling fucking amazing with my E2 on the low end of normal. I do not like look at Life 360 all the time. I'm not sweating where she's going, who she might be talking to. I'm not feeling this intense craving to check in with her all day. Like my independence is substantially greater. My self-esteem and self-comfort is substantially greater. I don't feel attached at the hip to her. I feel like in a lot of ways, as far as our relationship goes, I could take it or leave it. Like I still love her to death. I still want to be with her, but there's just I just feel way more independent instead of so fucking codependent. I get extremely codependent on my wife when my estrogen is at the upper range of normal. And so for me personally, this is the best I have ever felt on cycle. I'm not having anything even remotely approaching depression. When these little things come about that I'm kind of struggling with or frustrated with my estrogen, I just still feel so positive and self-assured and confident that I'm going to be able to conquer anything that comes my way. When I go in the gym, I'm not in a state of doubt. Is this too much weight? Am I going to get injured? Am I, there's a million little things that invade my fucking mind that are just not occurring in this lower E2 state or on the MENT. Again, as I've said, I'm not going to beat this point. I'm not having the out of control Trestolone type of rages. It's a much more calm, collected, sinister kind of aggression. I really think, honestly, I'm more prone to actually physically doing something in this state than I am in that Trestolone rage state. Everything just feels so much more controlled. I'm not being given to all these wild emotional swings. I did an entire video about male emotions this morning that again is being held up by the algorithm or something. It's waiting on human approval. So there you have it. That pretty much covers where we're at. This is a very uncharacteristic cycle for me in that it's causing me to feel different than I've ever felt. And so I feel a little out of place trying to quantify everything. Normally I'd be going through like the same, like how's my strength, how's my weight, how's my D game, how's my sexual activity, how's my performance in the gym. Like there would just be this kind of, set in stone set of metrics. And they would all just usually be trending to the positive. And this is like, it's like you took your 10-band EQ and you just jumbled everything up. And I'm in a totally different state than I have been used to for so long. If it wasn't for the fact that I feel like I have never looked better, I have never been stronger, I have never been this self-confident, I have never been this self-assured, I have never been more confident in my worldview and my future and that everything is just going to somehow be okay, I might be more concerned about the others. But I have gone during this MENT cycle from a position of really very poor mental health to being in the most positive mental health state I can remember being in a very long time. And so there's a lot of things in the mix that could be contributing to that, but I can tell you that in my body definitively the 19 Mafia, the 319 Nord drug combination is creating the most positive set of effects and side effects I have ever had in a steroid cycle, and I am really excited to keep this going. I now have everything that I need to keep it going for an extended period of time. So buckle up, because this is probably going to get interesting. I have still not peaked on the 15 milligrams of MENT. That is clearly true. I have only been on 15 milligrams of MENT for like 4 days. So we probably have another 4 days before we even get to peak serum concentration. So really the sky is the limit. There is no telling how good, or I guess potentially bad, if things should suddenly shift gears, that this could potentially become. So in whatever platform you're viewing this on, thank you very much as always for supporting the channel. Again, I'm going to try to push this content out to you guys as fast as humanly possible, but as soon as the third location is approved and set up, I'm just waiting approval. Nothing I have ever posted there has been censored, so everything is going to be going there first for a small monthly fee. If you choose to support the channel that way, then you will get plenty of exclusives that are only on that platform. I may start doing all of my lives only on that platform if I continue to have to deal with the censorship bullshit. So there you have it. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.